Good morning, everyone. Excellency, Mage Natalie Hendohe, we appreciate your presence today. CEO Business Eswatini, Babenati, we appreciate you being here today with us. Business Eswatini women, thank you so much for coming. We'd like to greet everyone. It's such a wonderful day today. It is an honor for me to be standing in front of all these powerful people, powerful ladies, welcoming them to this beautiful event where good things are going to be happening, where we're going to be discussing business that we are all about. The ladies that are here today, they're full of power, ladies that are really doing so much great things in the Kingdom of Eswatini. And I'm so proud here today to announce their names and call their names. And I know that I don't speak for myself when I say that I've been looking forward to this meeting the whole week, and I'm quite excited for the discussion that will come out of it today. Today, I'd just like to tell a little story about my meeting with Her Excellency Natalie Hendohe. It was in one of our meetings that was organized by Business Eswatini at Convention Center. The lady was speaking about the very same things that we're gathered here today about. And she took my heart. I really got so excited. I was like, this wonderful woman that is speaking about business that I love so dearly. And I'd like to meet her. I'd like to engage with her one-on-one. I sat there waiting for her, waiting for that moment for her to walk out. And yes, she did. Did I not run behind her? I got her at the door and I introduced myself. I said, hello, ma'am, how are you? I loved what you were speaking about over there. You spoke about business, and this is me. And it so happened that on that day, we were going to have our walk for Eswatini walk organized by the Americans. I said, I'd like to invite you for this walk. It's a beautiful walk. It's going to be happening tomorrow. She said to me, what time? I said, 5. She looked at me at like 5 o'clock in the morning in Manzini. I said, yes, ma'am. I just wanted to have that chat with her. And she's like, fine, I will be there. Send me directions. Wow, this lady, she really kept my heart. I was like, wow. The following day, things happened. I waited patiently for Madam Natalie. It never happened, but hey, she called me. She called to apologize, and I was like, wow, it is okay. But I still wanted to meet her. And I said, you know what? I'm in textile industry. I run a factory in Matsapa. Would you like to come and visit and see? Let me just take you through. Why? Because she was speaking about business. She was talking about business, and she was exciting me because I was like, I really want to get to know her. I really want to tell her about the women that we're working with in the kingdom that is textile. Such a wonderful thing happened. She said, yes, I will come. And she came to visit Far East. And I'm so proud to say today we are here. I think some of the stories that we're going to be telling today, it is because of her visits to the textile industry. It is because of what we were talking and explaining to her about what Swazis are doing in the kingdom. And I'm so proud. Thank you so much, ma'am. We really, really appreciate you. And I think a lot will be talked about, a lot will be discussed, and a lot will be sharing again so that you can see the power that you did for these women that all seated here today. Thank you. I'd like to, on that note, I would like to as well acknowledge the UN representative that are here. Thank you so much for coming. I know there's quite a number of them. And moving forward, I would like to introduce the business women of Eswatini that are here today. They're seated on the 2 tables over there. I have Zinhle Matebula, who is a businesswoman in the construction department. She's a powerful woman there. She's going to be telling our story later. Thank you, Zinhle. We have Milisa Mamba. She's in the transport industry. Powerful young lady that works. We'll hear her story later today. We have our lady here, Lady Carol, Mrs. Ngobo, my sister, powerful woman in business, AM Recruitment, that's her business. We have on our first table, Dr. Ima. She's our honorary BWE member, businesswoman, powerful woman. We need her so much in our team. She has words of wisdom that she always shares with us. We really appreciate her. We have Magelomanene Vilagati over that table. She's in transport business, very powerful woman down in the south. She's going to tell us her story. We then have Shobi Stromvik, lady that she's in education. She's also a powerful woman in business. She's going to tell us her story, quite a powerful one. My lady sister, Sonia Piver, we all know her. She's a powerful businesswoman. She is a woman farmer as well. She's going to tell us our brilliant story. She's done so much for the Kingdom of Eswatini. We are here today to have a dialogue on the development of the Eswatini private sector, the needs and challenges of more especially female and owned businesses. I very much hope that our outcome of today's meeting will lead to LIPS in jobs creation, gender equality in work environment, and greater transformative engagement of the private sector with the community. There's quite a number of things that Business Eswatini Women has done, and I'm so proud that today we are going to be discussing and talking about it. There's quite a lot that I think even the 2 hours that we have here today, it's a bit too small, but however, we're going to best use it in the best way that we can. With all that being said, I thank you so much, team. Thank you.
Thank you, Magehu, for the amazing introduction and for giving a warmth to our meeting starts. At this point, I would like to ask the resident coordinator for the United Nations to make her remarks. Thank you.
I have to remove my mask. I think that we have enough social distancing. And for what I would like to say, because it will be, there are 3 points that I would like to make. I need to breathe. So thank you very much. I don't want to call you Make, Toki, my sister Toki. Thank you very much for your very kind words, and to all of you, a warm welcome. There is a part of my speech that is formal. I'm the UN resident coordinator. There are a number of things that I need to do almost along the lines of the UN, but I really hope that within a few minutes we will be able to really interact in the most informal, open, candid manner. Before I go to my official speech, I would like to confirm that my sister Toki and I, we met a couple of months ago, and I have to thank my brother Nati here, because hadn't it been for his invitation, I would not have been on that podium, I would not have been there, and we will not have met, and this will not have happened. So before I start anything, I would like to say, Babe, brother, my dear Nati, thank you very much. Really, I believe that we still have a lot to do together, and with the private sector and with the ladies in the room, captains of industry. I will start my speech And as I started, I would like to remind also a story that I told yesterday during breakfast and that I told you, my sister Toki, months ago. I said that the private sector in my country, Cameroon, is largely dominated by women. And I said we have some milliardaires, millionaires, who are men, but it's 1, 2, or 3. But the ones who are really running the economy in Cameroon are women. And I gave 2 examples in our discussions. I mentioned the story of the mama bands. The story of the mama bands. The mama bands are those ladies who started with very humble beginnings. They were street vendors. They were selling the fabrics that you see us African women wearing, 1, 2, you know, on the roads. And from there, they decided to group and they became millionaires for most of them. They are dominating all the markets in West Africa of the fabrics that you see, and most of them are illiterate. The only language that they know is money, business. And when they make their first million, they buy a Mercedes-Benz. This is why they are called the mama bands. And really, they are the ones running the economy in West Africa. Go to Togo, go to Nigeria, go to Benin, Ivory Coast, and you will see what those mama bands have been able to do. And I had said that hadn't it been for coronavirus, I would have loved to bring 1 or 2 of them to explain how they made it and all the challenges that they encountered, including challenges that are because of the cultural environment. Women are, in some part of Africa, sort of assigned to a number of tasks. You know, you stay at home, you take care of the kids, and you wait for the husband to bring the money. So they decided to change their lives, and I still hope that after coronavirus, I will be able to invite 1 or 2 to address women in Eswatini and possibly to bring that inspiration to all of us. And the second one was, but I will not dwell into that, it's the alternative to the banking system. And I was telling the story of women who spend their weekends. They don't bother with the banking system, but there is a mechanism that is called tontine, and they put money every weekend. And when they collect, when it's their turn to collect, they may collect millions. And this is what helped them start their businesses. These are some of the stories that possibly we will discuss later on. I will start now, officially. CEO of Business Eswatini, Chairperson of the Board, Business Women Eswatini, Business Leaders, Captain of Industry, wonderful and very successful ladies in this room and online, because I believe that we have people online, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. So let me begin by saying a hearty good morning to all of you, business leaders, captains of industry, and aspiring women entrepreneurs. A number of them have not made it, so inspiring, including those joining online. It is with great pleasure that I address you today on behalf of the UN Development System, ahead of the UN75 dialogue, in which your views, we need your views, we need you to express your concerns, we need you to share your ideas and to share recommendations that will shape a better future, not only for the world, but also here in Eswatini. What are the changes that you would like to take place, either in your area, which is business, or even as mothers, sisters, wives, spouses? The UN is marking its 75th anniversary at a time of unprecedented disruption in the world. compounded by a global health crisis with severe economic and social impact. And as I have said, in all crises, there are a number of opportunities. So we can choose to be on the passenger seat, an observer, or we can choose to seize those opportunities. And I'm sure that some of you have already located some of those opportunities. Let's discuss them. The big question before us is, will we emerge from this crisis stronger, better equipped to work together and to continue to achieve Agenda 2030 of Sustainable Development Goals? Will we be able to build back better and recover better? What is it that we want to achieve? The UN Secretary General, Mr. Antonio Guterres, has declared 2020 the year of dialogue. As my colleague Fanele said a few minutes ago, this dialogue is taking place around the world. And we are actually recording because HQ will select segments around the world of those dialogues, and they will be shown in New York during the General Assembly in September. The dialogues are what are, as a human family, what are our priorities for the next 25 years? How we want to project ourselves and possibly leave to the next generation a better world. So it is vital that your voice is heard, and at this critical time for the world. This is indeed an exceptional time for Eswatini. Eswatini was elected vice president of the next General Assembly session, the 75th. So obviously, the voices from Eswatini will matter. They will be heard. The UN family is proud to have been a trusted partner of the government and the people of Eswatini for more than 50 years. Actually, the UN were in Eswatini before I was born. More than 50 years, okay? But it was before I was born. Obviously, I never knew that I will one day be in Eswatini, but this is just to show you the relationship and the close relationship that the UN has had with you, people of Eswatini, and the various governments. The COVID-19 pandemic has laid bare severe and systemic inequalities. As the UN, we are particularly concerned about the impact of the pandemic on vulnerable populations, including women, rural women in particular, children, the elderly, persons with disabilities, persons living with HIV/AIDS, and those on low income, as well as migrant populations. We are concerned. We support the government, the partners in various areas, including the health sectors, looking at the impact, socio-economic, and how we can recover better. As you have heard, the Secretary General said, the world will get through this crisis only if we act together. Unity, solidarity, this is what will make a difference in addressing coronavirus. Coming out of this crisis will require a whole of society. No one can be left behind, and the efforts of any of us cannot be underestimated. A whole of government, whole of the world approach. It's no longer Eswatini on one side, South Africa or United States. The whole of world needs to work together, driven by national unity and international solidarity. We need to work together to support individuals, communities, as well as, and in particular, the most vulnerable persons around the world. The Eswatini economy will react to those efforts, and will recover better. This is what we are being told, and this is what a number of countries are trying now. We are particularly concerned of the impact of the crisis on women around the world and Eswatini. Women play a disproportionate role in responding to the virus. They are frontline health care workers. They are caretakers at home. They work in insecure labor markets. Nearly 60% of women work in the informal economy, and they are at greater risk of falling into poverty. So I know that I'm speaking to converted persons. I'm not preaching. You know better than I do the impact of COVID-19 on women in Eswatini and around the world. So to reduce the impact on women, measures to protect and stimulate economy must target women. The UN remains committed to advance women's empowerment and gender equality. We want women in Eswatini, who represent 51% of the population, to fearlessly follow their dreams, embrace their ambitions. As women, we are no longer invisible, we matter. So I encourage you to teach your daughters that they are seen, they are heard, they have the same rights as any other persons. I am about to close, and I would like to see, I started with the example of the Mama Bands and Cameroon. In my almost 2 years in Eswatini, I have seen women in the kingdom who are a force as leaders, community builders, mothers, captain of industries, and I salute all of you here in the room and online for starting and running businesses that support Eswatini economy and, more importantly, provide livelihoods to many families in the country. We know that it is not easy, it hasn't been easy, and we know that the future uncertainty, the future unfortunately bears lots of uncertainties. Nevertheless, you can make it. Other women have made it, and you can make it in the kingdom. For the development to be sustainable, we need local solutions to local problems. There is not a solution that will come from outside for Eswatini. You need to bring those solutions yourself. And we know that women in this room have come up with those solutions, and every day you are innovative, creative, to keep your businesses offload or upload during the pandemic, and to support your families and communities. And for those who are on the line, or for those who do not know, I would like here to give examples of how each and every of you are contributing to the SDGs. We know that, for example, SDG number 1, no poverty, and number 2, no hunger. By establishing businesses that support agriculture at the local level, you contribute to the no hunger and the no poverty SDGs in Eswatini. By promoting women participation in commercial agriculture that produces quality produce, you contribute to SDG 3, good health and well-being. By providing employment to a number of individuals, women, by affording opportunities for female workers. You promote SDG 8, decent work and economic growth, as well as SDG 5, gender equality, and SDG 10, reduce inequalities. So once again, never underestimate what you are doing. You are promoting those ones, and I will possibly close on one that is really illustrated here. By working closely with local and regional institutions and partners such as the UN to achieve a healthy business sector in Eswatini, you contribute to SDG 17 partnership for the goals. You are doing that on a daily basis. So I would like to close by saying that in the UN and many other places in the world, we see the private sector and especially women-led business communities as transformative partners in the elimination of poverty and inequality, in the establishment of resilient and equitable social protection schemes. Who better than us women can establish those social protection mechanisms for women, girls, men, and others? We are caretakers, caregivers, social protection schemes. We know that you contribute to that, and in ensuring sustainable business practices that provide decent work and dignity for all. So we will work with you. We believe that all together, it's okay. I was closing anyway. That all together we can emerge from this crisis with better businesses, better jobs, a brighter, more equal and greener future for all in Eswatini and in particular for the next generation. It's no longer about us. It's about our children, their children, the next generations. So the UN75 today, we would like to hear from you how you view the future around the world, the future in Eswatini, the one that you want, and how the UN can assist you. What is the UN that you need in order to achieve that future? I would like to stop here by telling you the official part is out, and now we can speak as sisters, as mothers, as hopefully friends that we are or that we will soon be. Thank you very much.
Thank you for those amazing words, RC. I'm very inspired. Even though I've been helping to prepare for this event, I've been taking notes because I'm sure we're all here as professionals, as business owners, but we're also all here to learn from each other. So I am taking notes. I'm trying to be a mama bell with my with my pens very soon. So as the RC mentioned, as women, we are no longer invisible. We matter, firstly. And then secondly, as she mentioned, we need local solutions to local problems. And the women in this room today have developed those solutions to the problems that are faced in Eswatini, or the challenges, and not even just challenges and problems, but have also found ways to take advantages of opportunities that are available in the Eswatini. So with those words, I would like to again request a member from Businesswomen Eswatini to come and do your presentation about Business Eswatini and the challenges and the opportunities for contributing to the SDGs through the businesses that you run. Thank you.
A very good morning, all protocol observed. Natalie, Nati, Toki, members of B Women Committee. My name is Kero Ngobo, and I am an African girl child. I speak to you as a child that is born out of poverty. I speak to you as a child who was hungry. I speak to you as a child who was adopted. I speak to you as a child and a woman that is now in business. I am proud to say that the United Nations is me. I have been made by the United Nations. In Eswatini. I speak to you as an African child because we want to learn, we want to listen, and we want to share, and we want to partner with the United Nations. 75 years is a long milestone. It can be done. It is still going to be done. Don't give me the problem, give me the solution. That is my motto as a woman. And I say to the girl child, give me leadership skills and I will lead and I'll be followed. Because if you give me leadership skills and you create a leadership academy for me, and you create a life skills academy for me, I will learn and I will be independent. I will be Mama Benz. And it is all of us. And the partnership that we have is going to go strength to strength. And as Business Eswatini, we embrace the United Nations because it is a body that we want to be with. Thank you.
Powerful words there. Thank you so much, Carol. Businesswoman, Eswatini, thank you so much. Maybe at this juncture, I would like to call upon Mage Sonia Pavia just to come and give us her stories of the business.
Good morning, everybody. Natalie, Nati, businesswoman. My name is Sonia Paiva. 1,000 Emalangeni, 18 years old, a boyfriend and a motorbike. Many years ago, that's where I started from. 35 years later, with all the challenges that we had, I ran 7 companies, was the CEO of 7 companies in the motor industry, starting from motorcycles, earth-moving equipment, cars, you name it. And I did it through many, many milestones. How was that possible? Determination and the will to want to succeed. To be able to go from 1,000 rand a motorbike and a boyfriend to turning over 250 million in a year. It is possible for any girl, any woman to achieve. I do not have a university degree, but I went to the University of Life, and that is the one that teaches you. Where I could have learned in 5 years and had my degree, it took me 35 years. But today, I run an organization that is called the Women Farmer Foundation, which deals with the empowerment of women in the agricultural sector. I target the girls as well as women, and only from the rural areas. I'm very proud to say that after 13 years, I've been able to achieve what I needed to achieve, and that is bringing women that have no voices, have no hope to the table. And the most significant thing that I've ever done is to make them financially stable. And I think that gives me great, great pleasure. Besides that, coming from the motor industry, empowering people, I also run Eswatini Kitchen, which is a food manufacturing company. And once again, my passion for women and girls, I ensure that most of the produce that we use within our factories is locally grown. I've tried very, very hard to put our products on the local shelves. And we're getting there, slowly but surely. But the vision is, the more we can sell, the more we can expose, the more jobs we can actually create. Because I think that we need to address the issues of rural migration. Everybody wants to come to town, and yet we have the land, we have the water in our rural areas. Eswatini problems must be solved by Eswatini people. And I think that there's many ways of us addressing the issues that we all share. I think as we go along throughout this 5 minutes presentations that we'll all do, there will be so many similarities. And I think that as women, if we hold hands and share and actually support each other and encourage our daughters to do the same without being jealous, but being progressive, because we have got a youthful population and we need to invest in the youth. And I'd just like to thank the team for being here, and I'm sure, 100% sure, that we will all in this room make a difference. And to everybody that's listening out there, yes, it is possible. Thank you.
Sonia Paiva, thank you so much. Wonderful presentation. May I, at this point, call upon Matsebula, Zinhle Matsebula. She is in the construction department, industry. I think she's going to tell us a lot what is going there. We do understand that the industry that she is in, it's mainly dominated by male, but here is the woman that is doing so much in there. She's going to share her stories.
Thank you so much, Chair. Good morning to the resident coordinator, BE CEO, board members, and everyone in the house. As the chairperson has actually introduced me, my name is Zinhle Matsebula. I am Mrs. Myeni, but I use my maiden surname. And I'm in the construction industry. I know that sometimes many people or many sources know that myself and my husband do the business. But I've told my colleagues before that Zimpa, it is a group of companies. It has got many businesses in it. So the company is known as Zimpa. But my husband ran the aluminum one, which is called Alusol, and I direct the granite one, which is still in the construction industry. It's a very interesting one on how we started the Alusol, because that was the first company that we started. And then we went to do the granite one. So one day we had a trip to China, and it was mainly about the Alusol business, which is the aluminium. And as we were there, I saw the opportunity of doing granite. And it took me 2 years to start that business. I was making quotations day in, day out, possibilities, and all those sometimes, and I think I read one book that it spoke about risk, about taking a risk. I started with that business, and the first stock, it was 300,000. I was willing to lose that money if it was not going to come to Swaziland, because I had a lot of stories. You have not seen the person, you are doing this online, what if it doesn't work, but what if it does work? I did that willingly. It was a calculated risk. It wasn't money for school fees, but it was money that I've saved to actually take a risk. And it went well. What we are here today, we would like to thank the United Nations for this session. As women in business, because I am venturing in other businesses. It's not only construction. I do have an events management company as well, and through Mage Paiva, I'm starting to venture in agriculture. So I will actually address the business and the challenges that we have in the construction one as a business women in general, because the challenges are seemingly the same. The one that I would like to actually address is the cultural norms in construction. It is male dominated, and it's one industry that is expected to be male dominated because of the nature of the work and because of the hours. They are not straight hours, they are long hours, and it needs physical energy and power to do it. So most of the time, even if it's something very, very small, I will call the aluminium business very, very small in terms of the need of physical power, but because it's in construction, it's expected that those people that will apply, when we are saying you have to work in the production or in the fabrication and manufacturing of aluminium, that advert, you put it in a paper, you put it on social media, it already says, if you're a woman, you shouldn't be there. So at Zimpa Investments, I think I have shared it lightly with the chair. We would actually love to empower women. We want to start with 30 to actually train women to do aluminium, because it does not really need a lot of physical energy to do it, but it's just a cultural norm that once it is construction, you have to be male. And the other thing, the reason that we want to address it's in construction is that women don't have an interest because of things like sexual harassment, because as it is male dominated, you know that you will have 15 males and 1 female. You are exposed to that, and whenever there is a post, you will think, oh, now I'm going to the den. Let me just not start because of the male domination. So I think we have to actually change that. In other countries, we have seen associations of women, business women in construction, which we don't have in the country, where they will want to address all these issues. And the other thing, well, we have a problem, a challenge, is industry networking and support groups for women. So women, they are not given that much platform to network in terms of the construction business. It's just a male table form kind of a business. So women are never given a table to participate. We do have a construction industry, but there is no policy in place that allows the participation or that mandates the participation of women in the board. So even that, we would love assistance on how policies actually align in allowing women to be in boards or to be in committees of all industries, especially the ones that are perceived to be male-dominated. And the other one that we lack as women in the construction industry and business at large is a lack of financial initiative. Maybe let me start with the already existing one. If there is no financial initiative or an incentive for those construction companies that have many females in them, they won't be motivated to actually hire more females. So we do expect that if you can get assistance of financial initiatives and incentives for companies that encourage women to be part of their companies. And actually, and the other point when it comes to financial incentives, we look at the banks. I am so glad. People actually sometimes they mistake me and think I work for Standard Bank. I don't work for Standard Bank, but for me, so far, that is the best bank I have ever seen. So they're the only bank that I know of that they have a portfolio for women that want to start a business. So we need that kind of encouragement. We will know that we do have support, financial support to start business. Because I have seen a lot of women, every time when I talk about something, they will say, I like money, but I talk about business. Business, at the end of the day, it will make money for you, financial freedom, and you'll own your time as time goes on. But we don't have money to start the businesses. So as that is my last point, financially we need the financial banks and wherever possible that women should be given access to funds so that they are able to pursue their business ideas. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Zinhle. That was a powerful presentation. At this point, I would like to call our honorary member, Dr. Irma Allen, to please come and share some of her stories.
Good morning, everybody. I'm director and shareholder of Eswatini Wire, but I'm standing here not as the girl child, but as the girl elder. Eswatini girl elder. I have and women. That's our focus, and it aligns beautifully with the attainment of these goals. Now, we need to multiply ourselves. And I think Business Eswatini is in a very good role to be a partner because we have that channel. We start with home, we start with our own businesses, with our own industries, with our own, and look at how we can, that business, that particular environment can mobilize, can go ahead and improve, create better conditions, give better opportunities, enable the women in that community to participate more fully. We can do that. And I think all of us that feel passionate about socially and economically empowering women have to do that. And so we have to all get on our horses and find the opportunities together with the local people. Not come and impose what we ourselves particularly prioritize, but, you know, call on each other and keep on multiplying. So I think if Business Eswatini begins with their own businesses, finds the sites of more dialogues, and it fits in with the Year of the Dialogues, so that we use a multiplier effect. A multiplier. We cannot do it ourselves here. As much passion and dedication and commitment that we have, we need to multiply this effect so everybody, from the girl child, the housewife, you know, the working woman, the professional, and the elder participate in this fantastic process of achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Allen, and thank you to all of the women who have shared their business stories. We will have an opportunity towards the end of our agenda to hear more of the stories. However, at this point, I would like us to move to the next point on our agenda, which is the UN75 dialogues, and I would like to request my colleague, Mr. Sibusiso Mngadi, to come and lead that session. Thank you.
Ladies and the few gentlemen that are here, good morning. My name is Sibusiso. I'm trying to multitask here and get to my presentation here as well. So just is refusing to show. Okay, as a background, we are doing dialogues. This is the UN 75. The UN is commemorating 75 years. So I'm just giving you a background of what has happened a few months ago. We started from last year. The launch was done in June, and subsequently we've had many activities in Eswatini. I think in Eswatini we started in October, and then after that we moved to events in December with the media and women. And again this year, then we had COVID, of course, that disturbed some of our planning. Just a few weeks ago, we also had an engagement with Parliament. This is the Youth Committee. Yesterday, or was it the day before, we had an engagement with the PM. So these dialogues are very important, and there's an expectation, I think, as the RC was saying, these are not happening only in Eswatini. The voices that we are mobilizing or gathering here will actually be used to inform policy at the global level. So our views really matter. So whilst we're out here, we are getting your views so that they could be compounded in a document that will be shared at the General Assembly in September. So without much further ado, the dialogues will be moderated by our resident coordinator. So there are specific questions, and I'm sorry that possibly we've taken much time in the official and all the other information that we've shared, but this is the crux of why we're here. We want to ask you specific questions in relating to global challenges, and we would like us to engage around those issues. So I'm looking at the moving mic, so we can give it to the resident coordinator to start the discussion around the questions. You can stay there, RC. So no one's looking. If possible, maybe you can. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Before I start, I don't know if, like me, you have decided to save on lipstick, because with the mask, there is no need to try. I think that the masks are the one actually benefiting from all the lipstick and makeup that we may have. So, for the UN75, as I said earlier, we want to ask you a few questions. You have seen the Prime Minister was, how many minutes? Maybe 30, 45 minutes. He answered all questions, and if you have seen that, at the end I told him I almost succeeded in removing the PM hat to have the son of Eswatini, the father, the husband. We want the candid answers. We got them with him, and he helped us. So I will ask you those same questions. There are 5 main questions, and I will ensure that everyone in this room participates and that you really speak from your heart. The first question is, we are in COVID-19. What do you think the international community should prioritize to recover better from the COVID-19 pandemic? What do you think are those priorities? And you can really bring those priorities to Eswatini, to home. You can speak at the global level as you can speak about Eswatini. And I think that there is a microphone that is running. So I will start, and I will start by grilling my favorite brother in this room. You see, I didn't even have to say the name. He knows. So, my brother Nati Dlamini, what do you think are those priorities?
Put me on the spot like that. I'm used to it. First of all, I've just seen this question now. And as you were talking, I was led to think about how fractured the international community is right now. And COVID brought that fracturing to the fore, to the extent that even I don't see a coordinated global response to COVID, first of all, because of the huge divisions that we see out there. And also perhaps even the glaring bankruptcy of leadership that I see around the world at a time when
and between nations and the relationship. So these will be the priorities. I will take one more from another table. I will leave some of the toughest for two toughest ladies that I see here. We can continue. Let's go on the other desk. Not Carol, but maybe another captain of industry. My brother, Nati, you are not off the hook. I have more for you. Two, three priorities during this pandemic.
Thank you for the opportunity to say a few words. Upmost, it is the earnest prayer that as Africans, as our economy has been heavily fractured, we would encourage that as Africans, we come together, we join hands, getting closer home. I'm talking about the SADC countries, of which Swaziland is a member. Our countries are very rich in minerals, fertile soils. So we need help to encourage our people to go back to the grassroots level, train the people there to appreciate what they have there, encourage them to utilize the rich soil. As I've said, we are also rich in minerals. If our government would look at that, we go back to the villages where we originally come from. Under those mountains, we have minerals there. And encourage the people of that particular community where the mineral has been found. Encourage them to come up and be directors there, rather than getting people from other countries far away from where we are, and reach our people. And as we are here, we are hoping that UN is going to help us to go back to the grassroots level. Our keen interest here is to help the people outside in the villages to start their own businesses. Amen.
Sure. So I take note, and it's interesting what you have said, because in my note from Sonia's statement a few minutes ago, she spoke about the rural migration and how people from the rural areas are coming to town, and sometimes for no jobs or lots of limitations. Here, you seem to say that actually we should go back to the grassroots, which is one. The second thing that you said is that we should be more innovative, creative with our resources. We should really harness as many opportunities as they present themselves in our communities. And then you also said that African countries should hold hands. This is almost the issue of South-South cooperation. It's African solutions to African problems as local solutions to local problems. So we have those answers. As any of you, and I see a smile from Carol, maybe, has any of you an additional idea that you want to put here, place here, before we move to the next question? And since she's still smiling, I would like to know what is behind that smile. So please, Fanele, give her the microphone. I would like to find out what her thoughts are.
I want to say that I'm very, in terms of what the international community priority would be, I want to say that let us talk more. Let us advocate and lobby.
How many minutes?
Our governments, our countries, our leaders, so that at the end of the day, when we advocate and lobby for economic empowerment and social justice, equality, whatever, they must listen. Because the solution at times is that we put the problem, they don't listen. The solution is with the people. That's what I think. The solution lies with us. If you ask us what we need, we will tell you. But if you're going to give it to us, we may not use it. So I will be advocating and lobbying. I think that is what the international community needs to. We need to speak and not be afraid. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I would like to say that the Secretary General has heard you because he's launching those dialogues. And what the people are saying is what will be in display at the General Assembly. So it's really the opportunity that is given to you. What you say echoes exactly the thinking of the Secretary General. I would like to move to the next question. And here I will give 1 second to each of you to say which option and why. 1 minute. Do you think that in 2045, in 25 years, when the UN will reach 100 years of age, 2045, I said that for us it's difficult to project ourselves there. You know, in particular, ladies, the issue of age is one we do not always feel comfortable with. But let's project ourselves to 2045. Do you think that the world or the people will be better off with the world that they will have, that it will be worse than now, or do you think that it will be more or less the same as today? 2045. So, Fanele, let's start with our colleague here, and you go really from one table to another one. You say worse, better, why? 1 sentence.
I think in some measure, a lot of people will be better off in the advancement of technology and moving ahead, and hopefully a number of these goals already being achieved. But I think there's so many variables that in some ways they will be worse off depending on the moral standards of the nation and the family structure. So 20-some years, I feel like it could be both. It just depends on what area of society you're looking at.
Thank you. This table. Sonia.
Thank you. I believe that it will be better because the youth would be much older and they would have had the opportunity of going through what we're actually going through now, because hopefully we will be finding solutions to the existing problems. Thank you.
Thank you. Doctor?
Yes, I think like Sonia, that, you know, this particular crisis has been a learning opportunity, whether we wanted it or not. And I think we will be better. and I certainly hope so.
Toki?
I'm almost 100% sure that we are going to be better off in the next 25 years, simply because now I think we're setting our goals. We know what we're looking for. We are now talking about the issues that are affecting us, and we are speaking to our girl child as well. We are not leaving them behind. We are moving with them forward. It is going to be a better year.
Thank you.
I am an optimist. I think it will be better. The one I think will be the climate action. Yes, there's information now. We're going to reduce the impact we have on the climate. So the decline will be slower, but it will still be there. In everything else, though, equality, gender, poverty, we will be better.
Okay, she says she's an optimist. I'm a pessimist. But then a pessimist is actually an optimist who has seen the light. So I'm thinking probably in 25 years, we'll be looking back and say, oh, wow, 2020, the good old years. I've just got a feeling, skyrocketing population growth. I don't see how to feed these people who are coming, bankrupt in leaderships of the world. Decimation of international institutions which we relied on to give us guidance. Until something pivots drastically, it's going to get worse. But having said that, I think something drastic will happen to put us back on track.
Thank you. I thought that coronavirus was the drastic something.
It is.
It is.
But there is worse to come.
The optimist in me says we will be better. The young person in me says we will be better. Because as young people, we are living in 2020 right now. And there are certain things that we're learning to be able to avoid and to be better at doing when we're older. So I do think we will be better because we are the future leaders of this country, of this continent, and we're going to learn to be more self-sufficient. So I think we'll be better.
Thank you. We will get the answer while we have the third question. Please go ahead. Let's give the floor maybe to the third lady.
Thank you. I think people in 2045 will be better off in the sense that I want to believe that most people will be self-reliant at that point, so that if initiatives like the ones that Business Eswatini is embarking on to empower, women and the youth, if these, because we believe they are going to work, so in 25 years' time, people will be self-reliant rather than, relying on jobs and everything. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Question number 3. And I wish I had time for follow-up, but you will answer the question number 3. What do you want to see the most in year 2045 when the UN will turn 100? What around the world will be for you possibly the best achievement of our generation? In one word, is it that you want to see peace? Is it that you want to see prosperity? You want to see more human rights? You want to see the education rate at a higher level than ever? Do you want to see a female Secretary General? We never had that. A female president of one of the world's leading countries. I will mention none of them. But what is it that you would like to see? In one word.
Thank you. The dream is, we are always praying for women becoming leaders.
Yeah. In one word, because I am under pressure.
Women
Yes.
in leadership, yeah.
Women leadership?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Carol.
I just want the world to have food
and to have a means to all the things that they want. But food is very important.
I would like to have the young lady there, the young generation. Yes. One word.
Personally, women leadership, I think that's what we want to see.
Okay. Let's come back to the table here. Toki.
I think the very important one would be peace in the whole world.
Yeah.
Unity.
Self-sufficiency.
Here.
Equality.
On this table, then we move to the question number 4. There will be a last one, please.
I would like to see justice for the oppressed.
Wow. Thank you. Yeah. Question number 4. What do you think are the main obstacles, challenges to this vision? You said justice for the oppressed, unity, food security. What are at present, in your view, again, in one word, the main obstacle? Why can't we achieve this now? Let's go back. Okay, who did we start with? Let's go with Carol, with the food. What is the main obstacle for that one?
Just give me a piece of land, access to land
Access
for
to
everyone,
land.
so that I can do what I can.
Good. Someone said, did I hear peace?
Yes.
Okay. Peace. What is the main obstacle now to peace?
When we say we want peace in the whole world, I mean, what we see right now in our generation, there's a lot of wars, fights amongst countries to countries. Peace, when I say peace, I'm talking about families, home. We need that loving, caring for each other. That's what we want.
That's what we want. But what prevents us from having that?
What's preventing us from doing that? I think it is loss of respect for one another. We are not respecting each other enough.
I would say for human nature, the worth and the dignity of each other's doctor.
The biggest obstacle to unity are the inequalities and the lack of justice, I think.
Thank you.
Self-sufficiency. I think the issue is, I think Carol touched on it, which was the issue of land and knowledge, because as African women, we are taught to be subsistence farmers, and we need to actually learn how to go onto the commercial level. So education in agribusiness.
Okay. One last, while we put the 5th question there, and it's the last question. Mm-hmm.
I think the hindrance currently for equality is socialization. How we raise our children, what we say to them,
Yes.
how we make them feel that they are equal and they are worthy.
Yeah. And how we make them respect also the worth and the dignity of the other human beings. It's extremely important. Last question. How do you think that the UN in particular can help managing those challenges? Where do you see the UN in making your vision a reality, but more importantly, addressing those challenges? Let's start with my brother Nati. You better be optimistic when you speak about the UN.
I think first of all, the UN, someone was talking about hunger, and I thought of the climate change, which now doesn't allow us even to plant, because we've messed up the whole world, and therefore the earth cannot produce the food we want. But secondly, I'm thinking the UN can help with their global influence is putting together countries to try to push a global understanding around all those issues of peace. And we have seen the UN actually being very effective in addressing areas of war, areas of hunger, coordinating those efforts. And I'm thinking that and instead of it being made weaker, it should be made stronger now. And we have witnessed challenges against the UN itself of late. And it's something we need to pray against, because it's the only institution that can garner the support needed to rally all the countries and the peoples of the world to be one.
We the people, this is how our charter starts. We the people, it's about the people more than anything else. So on that note, I will stop here, Madam Moderator. I give you the floor back. It was a pleasure. I wish we could have continued that for much longer, but thank you for your answers, and thank you for responding to our invitation today.